This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Unette Gentry. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Give them a call, 727-9900. Today's news is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New service and repair. Call Gunny's 775-727-6800.
Welcome to News 25 here on KPVM TV and Ace Country Radio. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Unette Gentry. It is Tuesday, September 6th.
Well, at the request of the Nye County Sheriff's Office, the ASPCA, or American Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, is urgently mobilizing to provide much-needed assistance with the care of nearly 300 dogs, primarily Caucasian Shepherds, including puppies and pregnant dogs who were rescued from the alleged cruelty here in Amargosa and Pahrump. The ASPCA is assisting with evidence collection and crime scene processing, legal assistance, forensic exams, daily care, and providing medical and behavioral support for the large breed dogs. The ASPCA is also providing much-needed supplies to support the emergency sheltering operation, including additional food and kennels to augment what has already been donated by the public. ASPCA and NCSO staff are working around the clock to ensure that these dogs receive the best care. Sheriff Sharon Morley says they appreciate the outpouring of support from the public and organizations locally and nationwide, and that they couldn't have gotten this far without those donations. Animal cruelty charges have been filed based on the evidence collected by the Nye County Sheriff's Office, and criminal charges resulting from this case are being prosecuted by the Nye County District Attorney's Office. The ASPCA is also providing investigative and legal assistance to further support the investigation and prosecution and to ensure the best legal outcome for these animals. For more information, visit aspca.org or follow the ASPCA on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you missed any part of that, go to KPVM's Facebook page. News 25 will return right after this break.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on. This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Lisa Spahitz and Mike Plasmeyer at Country Financial Insurance. Auto, home, life, and commercial. 775-727-8920.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, News 25 continues our investigative report on the reported animal abuse at Estafel Kennels. And so we caught up with District Attorney Chris Arabia via Zoom to find out more about Estafel Kennels' case and what they are doing to prosecute animal cruelty at the District Attorney's Office.
Nye County District Attorney Chris Arabia has taken on the case concerning Estafel Kennels and the owner, Vasily Platnov, and his ex-wife, Oksana Higgins, who was the caretaker of around 300 Gampfer or Charka mixed Caucasian Shepherd dogs that have been rescued in Pahrump and Amargosa. This is part of an animal cruelty case that has been reported for many years to the county. The dogs are now in the custody and control of the Nye County Shelter, which is headed up by the Nye County Sheriff's Office. The ASPCA is now on board, which is a major game changer in this case. They have independent medical experts and investigators on this case, as well as our own animal control, veterinarians, and staff that are looking into not only the live animals, but the deceased puppies found in freezers and the dead dogs found in a pit that News 25 found and alerted authorities to when they were on scene. Earlier this year, the Nye County Animal Shelter traveled to Amargosa's location to find that these animals were living in poor conditions and were not being fed. Platnov relinquished rights to these dogs, and many were transported to Desert Haven Animal Society. Others had to be euthanized. Many animal rescues donated food to that facility at the time. Platnov at that time did not receive any criminal charges because he voluntarily relinquished the dogs. Originally, 34 criminal charges were thought to be filed against Higgins and Platnov. District Attorney Chris Arabia spoke with News 25 about why only 5 of those charges have been filed for both Platnov and Higgins so far, and if any negotiations will be made in regards to the charges and restitution to the county, and if Platnov will be allowed to own and breed animals again.
Originally, there was 1 count, and then we were submitted at one point. I think there were 32. We classified them into 5 categories, and there's 1 count for each category for now. Just taking the 5 counts, if they were to run consecutively, you could be looking at 95 to 240 months in prison, and no, 95 to 240. The point is that that's like 8 years minimum. So I don't know what's going to happen down the line, but for now it's 5 counts, and we'll see what happens as we get a more firm idea. But 5 counts is that's a lot. So like I said, we're still in the early stages given that when the arraignment is, and the charges could get modified up or down, between now and the arraignment, depending on how the evidence looks. And I would urge people to just keep in mind that the preliminary reports don't always have, and it's because they're preliminary, they don't always have the full picture. So, when we hear reports like the report about the frozen puppies, we're going to look at that, and it sounds awful, and maybe that's exactly what it is. We're going to see. But that's certainly, something I have myself, and actually the chief deputy for criminal are the ones who are kind of taking the point on this one for the office. That's the level of importance that we, give to this case. There are times when a defendant wants to take a plea bargain because you get generally fewer counts, maybe a lesser offense, less time in jail potentially. And there are other times, I used to do defense, so I know there were a couple times, especially in the federal system, where I had people plead guilty without a plea deal because, without getting into the technical aspects of it, there were advantages in those cases. So in this case, there might be a chance to negotiate something. The problem, or not the problem, but the consequence of that is, it's a negotiation. So if we want, for instance, someone to agree to, certain terms, they're going to want something in return, which would be, just hypothetically speaking, less of a punishment, less time in jail, whatever the case may be. He's got his opinion about that. He's also representing his client. And I'm not going to speculate and start pointing fingers at certainly the fine people in our animal control. Excuse me, if it turns out down the road that there's some issue with the way the county did things or animal control did things, then I guess we would have to look at that at that time. At this point, I don't know. I don't have any basis for commenting on that one way or another. But like I said, my experience has been that the animal control people are really solid. They say one thing to the community, which is I think it's really terrific the way people have been trying to help. I think it says a lot about the kind of people who live in this community, and I know, people love animals and they're doing the best they can. And times are tough for a lot of people. A lot of people don't have a lot of money, but they're still trying to help.
Well, we have great health news for both you and veterans after this break.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. Also brought to you by Silver State Health. Visit silverstatehealth.org or call 702-471-0420 for an appointment. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, Living Free Health was excited to welcome a recovery advocacy group, the Foundation for Recovery, at their location here in town this morning. The Foundation for Recovery has started a bus tour called Mobilized Recovery, beginning in Las Vegas and stopping here at Living Free Health in Pahrump this morning. Shelley Poerio, who founded Living Free, held the event in the cafe that supports the many programs that help those who are struggling with addiction. The Foundation for Recovery brought a tour bus that participants will be signing during the many stops across the U.S. This morning started with breakfast provided by Living Free and several speakers, including our own Judge Kim Walker, who runs the drug court program locally, and Poerio herself. The foundation says that it's often coined that recovery meets people where they're at. That's why in 2022, they are partnering with organizations, brands, and individuals across the country to bring the Mobilized Recovery experience to their communities. Launching during Labor Day weekend, Mobilized Recovery across America has departed on that national bus tour, stopping at cities and towns. Each stop, the communities will be brought together to highlight highlight the recovery experience that is so unique in different regions throughout America. With the support of brands such as Google and iHeartMedia, all stops will have a virtual component so audiences can tune in from around the country to learn about how different areas of the nation are mobilizing to create change. The next stop for Mobilized Recovery are in Reno, Nevada, Sacramento, California, Mountain View, California, Denver, Colorado, Augusta, Maine, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Manitowoc, Wisconsin, Paducah, Kentucky, Dayton, Ohio, Marietta, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, Ottawa, South Carolina, Washington, D.C., Warrenton, Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Robbinsville, New Jersey, Marlborough, New Jersey, New York, Newark, Delaware, Lewisburg, West Virginia, Indianapolis, Indiana, Naperville, Illinois, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Spokane, Washington. Throughout the national tour, peers will train the community members on mental health, community-initiated care, overdose prevention, and harm reduction education. Training and resources, such as naloxone, will be distributed at pop-up stations in local retail, commercial, and residential areas. Policymakers will be engaged in listening sessions with residents in their hometowns. Narrative and organizing workshops will be provided to community members and advocates involved in mental health, addiction and recovery, and drug policy advocacy. Roundtables with local employers and businesses will be convened around topics such as mental health wellness for employees and recovery-ready workplace initiatives. Schools and educators will be engaged. Families will be engaged through practical prevention tools and strategies, and so much more. For more information, you can find Foundation for Recovery on the web.
Well,
Philip Payne was in court before Judge.
In today's Save a Pet, Darby O'Donnell Westerman stopped by the Nye County shelter to show you a couple of cats who are looking for a loving home together.
Today's Save a Pet segment is made possible by Realty Executives in Action. Put the team at Realty Executives in action for you.
Hi, I'm Darby here at the Nye County Animal Shelter, and today we are joined with Callie. Callie is this beautiful 3-year-old calico. She is quite shy. She is a little bit scared in the beginning. She's a super sweet girl. She does want to get attention and everything, but being in this new environment and having a lot of loud noises and everything is kind of scary for her. Callie is bonded very well with her sister. Her name is Moo. Moo we will be also talking about in a separate segment, but they would prefer if Callie and Moo went together. Callie is a sweet little girl. Like I said, she's this really beautiful calico who obviously had some sort of orange tabby mixed with her as well. She had beautiful green eyes. Super sweet little girl. Definitely you'll need to spend some time with her alone in the cat interaction room and allow her to open up to you. If you want to come and see Callie or her sister Moo at the Nye County Animal Shelter, you can go to their location at 1580 South Surrey Lane. It is directly across the street from the Nye County Treasurer's Office. You can give them a call at 775-751-7020, and they also have a Facebook page, which is the Nye County Animal Shelter.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
All right, we're going to take a look at weather. It's really hot outside, and they've extended that heat advisory through Thursday now.
I was hoping that we were going to have a break right now.
No, not right now. It's beautiful, but hot. We'll have more after the break.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. Excessive heat is the theme today, all up and down the state and all up and down this weather map. Look at this, 105, 106 up in Fernley and Fallon. Carson City saw 101. Tonopah, 97. That's the cool spot. 97? Yeah, well, Goldfield, not far behind at 99. Beatty saw 109. 113 in Amargosa makes that the hot spot today in the state. And Las Vegas at 109 is not far behind. Death Valley saw 124 degrees. Oh my, here in the paradise of Pahrump, we're looking at 109 degrees currently. It was 111 earlier, so it's been excessive heat. It's been quite hot. What can I tell you? Southerly winds to 9 miles per hour. Humidity, at least that's bone dry at 9% as the sun rose this morning at 6:19. Setting this evening at 7:04. We gave up 9 minutes of daylight over the weekend. Look at it go and watch it go bye-bye. Fans of night rejoice. We're heading to a low tonight of 82 degrees with east-southeasterly winds to 7 miles per hour, and that sets up for a interesting kind of week ahead. Look at this. We got clouds 1, 2, 3 days. Temperatures dropping down to 99 and then 88. Oh, but look at the rain. Look at that. Saturday, Sunday, rain's coming back at us. It's like monsoon season 2.0. It's very brief but advanced because Saturday we got 50% chance for rain. Temperatures at 88%. That'll feel good. Temperatures goose up to about 92 on Sunday, but the rain is reduced down to 24% chance, 15% chance by Monday. Yeah, we're just going to get a big squall on Saturday and then a bunch of leftovers Saturday, Sunday. But look at next Tuesday. How does that set us up? 92 degrees. That sounds pretty good. 10 mile per hour winds. I like this. I like this Tuesday. So let's make plans for next Tuesday, okay? And that'll be lots of fun. Back to the desk. Here's Deanna.
Well, I'm not sad about some of those numbers coming down a little bit. Well, we often hear about adults suffering from COVID long hauler symptoms, but did you know that some children are also experiencing the same issues?
The most common symptoms that we see for children who have long COVID are fatigue, difficulty concentrating, and mood swings. And these symptoms are reported in roughly about 25% of children who have had COVID.
Dr. Kimberly Giuliano is a pediatrician for Cleveland Clinic Children's. She says it's pretty common for parents to assume these symptoms are related to something other than COVID. For example, they may think the child caught a cold or another illness at some point or is having mood swings for another reason. With that being said, it's important for parents to bring their child in to get checked out if the symptoms are persisting for more than a week or two, or if they are significantly impacting their life. Dr. Giuliano says there are different treatment options available depending on the type of symptoms and severity.
The pediatrician or family practice provider would spend some time trying to understand the timeline related to COVID and the onset of symptoms, how common these symptoms were for the child before the infection even started, and then put all of those pieces together to determine what the best treatment option would be for them.
And you know, Dr. Giuliano says for parents to prevent these kinds of symptoms, to have your kid vaccinated and boosted.
Yes, and the CDC says that the third booster, which fights the new variants, including Omicron, is now available. Please check with your healthcare providers locally to find out where you can go to get your shot.
Even the health nurse office here in Pahrump has one. Yes. All right, well, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Unat Gentry, and from all of us here at KPVM and A's Country Radio, thanks so much for joining us.
She almost forgot.
No.
Good night.
Good night.